All right, so let me share my screen. All right, so we're gonna go over YM really quickly. Just turn it off. Let me remove all drawings from here. So here looking at the 1 minute, so I do trade futures. I have traded Forex in the past, traded it for a very long time. But honestly, the strategies can go pretty much on anything. So I usually start at the daily time frame just so that I can kind of figure out where exactly or what exactly I'm looking for, right? So I'm just gonna bunch this up here and just create a sort of a range here on the daily. We are in this uptrend. I go to the weekly, go to the daily, 4 hour, things like that. I'm just going to explain a simple concept here. Just looking at price. So we have price here. I'm going to draw a trend line right here. Now, to ensure you're drawing a proper trend line, you want to make sure you have at least 2 touches for your trend line. 3 confirms that. So we have 1 touch here, 2 touch here, 3, 4 touches here. So we had a nice bounce off of this 1 hour trend line right here. What we're looking for next is an indication that price is going to continue going up here. So I would go down to a lower time frame, maybe like the 15-minute. We do have a fair value gap right here. So this is actually a good indication right here that price could continue coming up. And it looks like we're coming up on that entry. Price is coming down to this fair value gap. So what you want to look for is, again, you're probably going to go down to a lower time frame, but you want price to get into this fair value gap, and then you want to take it further up here, right? And what is a fair value gap? I'm going to remove this square just so that we can see. So a fair value gap is going to be an imbalance in the market. So with that imbalance, you want to make sure it's an impulsive candle. So we have this impulsive candle right here. We have a candle before it and a candle after it. A fair value gap is going to form if, in fact, it leaves a gap. So if the wick is touching or body is touching the previous candle or the one after, it is not going to leave a gap. But if you look here, if we take it from this wick to this wick on the candle after it right here, right, this created a gap. So what is not going to be a gap? So we have this impulsive candle right here, right, going up. Now, the candle before it and the candle after it, they pretty much are in the same space. You see that? It's very little. That is not going to be a good fair value gap. So if it looks something like, and I'm just going to get my paintbrush so that we can do a good analysis here. So, right, we have, this is one candle. That's one candle. We got an impulsive candle right here. And then this is the candle afterwards. All right. See how it leaves this gap right here? This is the gap. Now, if this wick was up here and this wick was here, there is no gap. So that would not be a fair value gap. You want to make sure that there's some sort of gap after the impulse and before the impulse. So this candle here, this candle here, right? So the candle before it, the candle after it, that is how you're going to look for your fair value gaps. Now, prices coming into this fair value gap here, of course, it's Asia session. We're not going to really look for anything, an official entry or anything, but I wanted to kind of just explain that concept. So you're looking for price to just come in the gap, right? You want price to come into this gap and then take off. The target is going to be this higher high right here. So this could potentially be a nice move to the upside right here. All right. Stop loss is going to want to be, I like it to be outside the gap. I would like a 50%, which will be right here, 50% of this fair value gap, and then take off. So I'll leave this here, but that is just a quick explanation of trend lines and then also fair value gaps.